Hi, everyone. Today we are going to talk about how to identify the theme of a text. So let's get started. Sometimes we confuse the topic or summary with the theme of a story. It is important to understand what theme is and how to find it when reading a text. So, what is theme? The theme of a story is the message, lesson, or moral the author wants you to learn. When you think of the theme, I want you to think, what lesson or big idea does the author want me to learn? So, how do we find the theme? There are some questions you can ask yourself to help you identify the theme in a story. As you are reading a story, ask, what was the problem, issue, or situation in the story? How did a character's feelings or actions change in the story? What did the characters learn? And how did the characters grow? If you ask yourself these questions, you will be focusing on the events in the story, and you will also be focusing closely on the characters. Here are a couple more questions to think about as a reader when finding the theme. What message is the author trying to send? What important part of life is the author wanting me to remember to apply to mine? You will have to make an inference, which means a guess using the information you know from the text and the information you know from your brain. If you think about these questions, you will be on the right track to discovering the theme of the text. The theme is rarely stated. You have to infer based on these questions. There are common topics for theme. I will show you some examples of topics in each box. I will explain what they mean. Acceptance. Characters who respect and accept others' differences and beliefs. Friendship. Characters who trust others and are loyal to one another. Honesty. Characters who find that it is best to always tell the truth. Compassion. Characters who want to make those who are suffering feel better. Perseverance. Characters who never give up even when facing challenging times. Responsibility. Characters who learn to do the right thing. Courage. Characters who learn to take risks and have strength to overcome fears. Kindness. Friendly characters who are generous and considerate. Cooperation. Characters who work together to reach a goal or complete a task. Let's take a look at the difference between a topic and a theme. To identify a topic, ask, what topic is the story or writing about? A topic can usually be expressed in just one word, like the topics we just read on the last slide. To identify the theme, ask, what does the story or writing say about the topic? The theme is often a complete sentence or statement. Some examples of topic are, in the story Little Red Riding Hood, the topic might be caution or trust. And the theme in Little Red Riding Hood is do not trust everyone you meet. The topic of the Three Little Pigs is perseverance. And the theme of the Three Little Pigs is hard work and patience will pay off in the end. Now let's take a look at the difference between a summary and a theme. To identify the summary, ask, what happened during the story? What is it mostly about? The summary will include the important events that occurred. To identify the theme, ask, what lesson or moral can I apply to my everyday life? The theme is a life lesson or a big takeaway that you will infer from a story. An example of a summary from the text, The Little Red Hen. The hen wanted to make some bread and asked all her friends for help. Everyone was too busy to help her, so she did it by herself. In the end, everyone wanted to eat the bread, but she ate it by herself. The theme, or the lesson or moral from The Little Red Hen, is laziness can have negative consequences, or it pays off to always help others if you are able. Let's take a closer look at summary and theme using the story of the tortoise and the hare. We are going to identify both. What is the summary? The summary gives the important events of a story. So a summary of the tortoise and the hare is, a rabbit challenged a turtle to a race. The rabbit was overconfident about his speed and took a nap before crossing the finish line. The turtle ended up winning because he kept racing, and although moving slow, he did not give up. So what is the theme? The theme does not mention specific events from the story. Some possible themes for this text are, a winner is the one who keeps going and doesn't give up, or do not be overconfident in your strengths. Now we are going to think about theme using the story of Cinderella. Take a moment to think about the story of Cinderella. And think about all of these questions. What was the problem, issue, or situation from Cinderella? How did the characters' actions and feelings change during the story? What did the characters learn? How did the characters grow or change? And what lesson can I apply to my own life? What is the theme of this story? The theme of Cinderella could be good triumphs over evil, or maybe make the best of any situation and things will work out in the end. The topic is kindness. We're going to think about theme again using the story of the ugly duckling. Take a moment to think about the story of the ugly duckling. What was the problem, issue, or situation? How did the characters' actions and feelings change during the story? What did the characters learn? How did the characters grow or change? And what lesson can I apply to my own life? What is the theme of this story? The theme of the ugly duckling could be accept one another no matter how different they might appear, or maybe true beauty comes from within. The topics could be acceptance or self confidence. We're going to read this scenario and we'll think about the questions we should ask ourselves. Then we will determine the theme. Remember, the theme is the message, big idea, moral, or lesson of the story. Billy did not want to spend time studying for his test. He played video games and hung out with his friends every day after school instead. Sam wanted to hang out with them, but he made the choice to study first. On the day of the test, Billy felt a bit uncertain, but Sam felt confident about taking it. The next day, Sam saw that he got a 95 on his test, while Billy received a 68%. What is the theme? The theme could be that hard work pays off, because Sam worked hard and chose not to hang out with his friends and to study for his test first, while Billy did not make that decision. So Sam showed that hard work pays off, and that is a lesson or moral that you can apply to your own life. We're going to read this scenario and we'll think about the questions we should ask ourselves. Then we will determine the theme. Remember, the theme is the message, big idea, moral, or lesson of the story. Annie wanted to go hiking, but there was one problem. She was afraid of heights. She did not want to miss out on this time with friends, so she decided to go. She came up to a steep hill. Her heart beat rapidly as she stared at it. I know I won't be able to do it, she sighed. But she took a deep breath and began to climb up the hill. She couldn't believe she made it to the top as she gazed at the amazing sight below. What is the theme of this scenario? The theme might be believe in yourself. You might have also thought that the theme could be another option for the theme for this scenario could be conquer your fears, face your fears. We're going to read this scenario and we'll think about the questions we should ask ourselves. Then we will determine the theme. Remember, the theme is the message, big idea, moral, or lesson of the story. Maria was new to a school from another country. She spoke differently than the other children. She also dressed differently and liked different foods. Some of the children thought Maria was weird. Taylor noticed Maria sitting by herself at recess and invited her to play. It turned out Maria liked many of the same games as she did. Maria and Taylor were opposite in appearance and culture, but ended up being the best of friends. So, what do you think the theme is of this scenario? It's okay to be different is a possible theme. Maybe opposites attract, right? Or differences are good, or you may look different but have similar interests. There are a lot of different options for the theme for this one. We are going to read this scenario. Janie always had a pack of Skittles in her backpack. They were her favorite candy. Every day when she started to eat them, kids always asked for some. She really wanted the other kids to like her since she wasn't very popular. She had a hard time saying no to them, even though she usually ended up with little to no Skittles left. This happened day after day. When it came time for group games or time to pick partners, Janie often found herself alone or as the last choice. She really thought this would change since she gave away her favorite candy each day. Think, what is the theme of this story? Some possible themes of this story are you can't buy friends, you have to take care of yourself, or not everyone is your friend. Let's read another one. There once was a little boy who loved to scare people. He decided to run to a sheep herder and shout, "Wolf! Wolf!" even though there was really no wolf. The herder frantically gathered his sheep and alerted his workers. In doing so, he saw the boy pointing and laughing. The little boy said, "Ha ha, I made you jump," and ran off. Then he approached a farmer. "Wolf! Wolf!" he shouted. "A wolf is attacking the town." The farmer grabbed his pitchfork and headed to protect the town. While doing so, he heard the boy laughing. "Ha ha ha, gotcha." The boy went back home giggling. He saw a real wolf in his father's chicken coop. The wolf ate all of the chickens and headed toward the boy. The boy screamed, "Help! Wolf! Wolf! Please help!" But nobody came to help him. Think, what is the theme of this story? Some possible themes of this story are don't ask for help unless you really need it, and don't play tricks on the people around you. Okay, and we're going to read one more. This is our last one. Freddie loved to draw. He was a really good artist and often drew pictures for his teacher and friends. One night, he lost his markers at home. At school the next day, he asked to borrow his teacher's. He ended up taking them home and losing them in his messy playroom. The next morning, he asked his teacher to borrow more markers. She said, "Sure, Freddie, but you must be more careful with these. I do not have any more packs of markers." By the end of the school day, the markers were left all over the floor. That evening, they were swept up by the custodian and thrown away. When Freddie walked in the next day, he asked for more markers and was upset when he found there were no more. Freddie had to draw his pictures with pencils, and it just wasn't the same. What do you think the theme of this story is? Some possible themes of this scenario are take care of shared resources, be responsible with your things and others' belongings, and some things will not be replaced after they are used. Okay, that's it for our lesson on theme for today. If you have any questions or concerns, send me an email or contact me through Parent Square. Hope you guys have a great day.